The babies are playing with each other. Oh, little toes. Oh, is it? No, yeah, playing games with us. Hiding themselves behind the bush there. I'm just going to go down this side. So you can have a better look at them. And now they're taking off. Sorry about towards Chillicothe line. Let's see what we can find at part of the wall this afternoon. It's getting nice and cool now, and hopefully the animals will start getting active now.
Good morning, welcome to Djuma Game Reserve this morning. My name is Mark and Seb is on camera this morning. Wild earth, pretty wet this morning. And we're with the wildebeest and some zebra here on the southern end of the open area. It's really a lovely temperature. I'm actually getting a little bit hot already with a jacket on. Not a breath of wind, and hopefully we're going to have a wonderful morning. It's been raining all night, and I'm hoping as well that maybe the rain will hold off for the next couple of hours as we drive around, bringing you some of the best sights we can on this wet morning here in the Sabi Sands. Do join us. A procession of wildebeest and zebra, a little mini migration from one end of the open area to the other, all of a few hundred meters. There was a bit of a commotion here this morning. I think it was probably about 4:30, 4:45. Heard hyena, almost as though they were on a kill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I only see 5 babies there. No, there's 6 calves. Let's follow them a little bit as they make their way to the western edge and see if we can see some activity, some unusual behavior, or just let's see what they're going to do. 3 zebra. There's that one zebra that we've seen before, that stallion with his tail missing. Spooking the wildebeest now. I wonder what that was all about. Oh. try and get towards the front of this procession and watch them approaching us, if they will. Amongst this little crash group. Didn't even know there was one. What's news today? It's great to see a healthy herd of wildebeest, and so far, holding thumbs, crossing fingers and toes, that Dam. It was late one afternoon. Calf grooming itself now on the left of the screen is the first calf that was born. See how much bigger it is and darker than these other little ones. Weeks head start on these other calves. Slowly but surely we're seeing the color change take place. They have a much lighter tan color for the first week or two. Look more like an adult. The sky looks like it might be lifting. Good news for the rest of the drive. A little bit of a dark sky in the south. Let's carry on. Now that we're here facing north, let's continue north. The zebra didn't make it down here with the wildebeest. They turned around and went back the other way. Possibly on account of us being here. 3 shy zebra. Bye children. Have a good day. Mind the cats. Turn around and show you a quick picture of sunrise through the sky, through the cloud. Whoa. I want to get it just above this wildebeest. He's moving out of shot now. Actually, before you zoom, Seb, let's do this. The other side of this willow. Shaft of light coming through now. I believe hippos are mating in Gari Dam. Oh, they're having a wrestling match. Just a thin break in the cloud in the east with a little shaft of light coming through. Lovely. I've got a picture the other night, almost identical to that with the moon rising. That could be the moonrise on a full moon night. We can turn daylight into dark, but sadly we can't turn dark into daylight. Okay, let's move up north. With those lion having mated for the last 3 days, I think let's take a drive up there and see if they're still around and see what they might be doing. That, by the way, was the wildebeest bull. Slightly separate from the herd. very healthy wildebeest bull actually. Come in. Yeah, morning. Are you out? Yes. What's your route plan? Still wait for next quarantine. I'm going to go up once you look at the cut line. Not yet. I'll have a look as soon as I get further on. Lots of them pieces. There was something happening on quarantine this morning. I heard it sounded like a piece made a bumper, but I can't see anything. An elephant here, the marula branch in the road, and here are some leaves. There's been an elephant feeding on marula trees, 2 small branches. There's another branch in the road. It doesn't look too wilted. Unfortunately, with all the rain last night, tracks are going to be a bit of a problem this morning, unless we're really close to an elephant, or any animal for that matter. Beautiful morning. Monday morning. Blackened grass off to my right. Could have been something that moved through the grasses there. When it's so wet like this, it's pretty easy to see where an animal has walked. Sometimes even a lion or a leopard, because the grasses are so easily recognizable as being flattened. You can also see sometimes the dew on the grasses has been wiped off. Because there's so much water around, they tend to, within a few hours, they tend to right themselves. The turgor pressure within the plant manages to lift the blades of grass up again. Unless it's a herd of buffalo, then it's not exactly a subtle sign. Nyala tracks just across the road. I'm going to go up to Sandy Patch and then come back to Aubrey's Road. Here's the dung from this elephant. So he was from quarantine, walked all this way. Dung's been flattened by beetles already. It's smelling quite fresh. There's still no sign of tracks though. Which means he was here during the rain, during the night. And he's possibly long gone by now. Yeah, he was feeding on this combretum. There's fruits, fresh green fruits on the ground. There's a plant that he uprooted and left in the road. Still quite rigid, the leaves. And there's no clue actually as to whether he went north or rather east or west, because the rain completely obliterated his tracks. Sandy Patch. Area that gave its name to a pride of lion. Another bronze. To turn around here and go back to Aubrey's Road. We'll head up north. Texan is further east and south of us. If this elephant went that way, Texan might find him or find tracks. But I have to be honest, it's not very easy. Just seeing branches in the road and seeing the dung, not getting much of an idea of which direction he might have travelled. Yeah, there are more branches, so he could have come that guy headed east, or he could have been down there and headed west. Good morning to Phyllis. How are you this morning? Phyllis is asking about these lion mating and whether the fact that they're mating around a full moon is coincidental or whether it has something to do with the cycle of the female. I would say maybe it does stimulate an estrous cycle. I have no doubt that the full moon, or the new moon for that matter, has bearing on every living creature. I know that there are some creatures all around the planet, whether they're land or aquatic or marine, there are creatures that do cycle with the moon. Yeah. Golden orb spider. Oh yeah. And she's just moving off of her web. There's a little male on the web as well. Wow. You can actually see the golden hue to her silk, which gives her the name, the golden orb. Now all of the spiders that spin that very typical round bicycle wheel type web are known as orb spiders. And they're probably one of the largest group of spiders, the orb web weavers. From the tiniest of the crabellets or lace orb spiders to these, the Nephila, the largest of all the orb weavers. She's almost full grown. She's got a lot of expanding to do before she can lay eggs at the end of the season. That abdomen will swell probably 3-4 times that size. In fact, she doesn't look like she's been feeding very well. I don't know where all the grasshoppers are this year. They either haven't grown yet or they just haven't emerged. Last year we had so many grasshoppers, the birds didn't even want to eat them anymore. She must have felt the vibration of the vehicle and she started moving up along her main strand. Now that main strand that you can see above her, that horizontal strand of silk, that is probably about as thick as cotton, and if not stronger than cotton, and that will sometimes stretch 30-40 feet between two trees. You can see the thinner strands that she's moving on now. She's going back to the hub of her web. As soon as she's disturbed, as soon as she feels vibration of something, she will move off of the web just in case something goes through it. And those vibrations are felt with hairs on the legs that are set in little conical depressions, or almost satellite dish depressions, with a little hair in the middle of it. And that dimple, I guess you could say it's like a dimple in a golf ball. It magnifies air movement, magnifies the vibrations of any large creature moving near her. She must have just renewed her web, because that orb looks pretty new. In fact, she hasn't finished. She might go back to where she stopped. She's actually still busy spinning the sticky part of her web. She hasn't got very far. You can see it's only the outer bit that I'm talking now about, instead of the spokes of the wheel. The spokes of the wheel are a particular type of silk that is non-sticky. That is what she moves on. That is how she moves around her silk, her web. That's the hub of the web, the middle where she will stay. And I guess we could call it like the grooves on an LP record are a very sticky type of silk, and that's what catches the prey. And she must have been busy spinning when she was disturbed, because she's now paused the creation of the web. And she'll probably go back to it in a short while. Just there on the edge of the picture you can see where she ended off on the right hand side. If that is coming through clear enough. We'll wait till sunshine. We'll get a nice sunny morning and we'll be able to get the sun glistening off of these webs, especially if we have a little bit of mist. The mist forms droplets on the silk and it makes it easier to see. Happy hunting, Mrs. Spider. Little francolins. Just getting back to the estrus of the lioness and the moon cycles. The large cats have an estrus. There are stronger forces exerted on the planet and on bodies of water, and mammals' bodies are mostly water. Yeah. There was, while you were away, there's, from here going up the fire break, there were like, there was quills everywhere. This one seems been driven over already. Very soft. But we picked up a lot of quills here just recently. Either a fight between porcupines, or it was something trying to get at a porcupine. Couldn't quite ascertain what had happened, or what had transpired. There was a little female redback shrike sitting on a branch, looking wet and cold and ruffled, but she moved off. Hello, seashells. Michelle. Good morning to you. Michelle wants to know if the golden orb spider is also known as the banana. It could be that the banana spider is a spider that hides in banana clumps. I know there's some other creatures that are. There's a frog called a banana frog, I think, because it gets transported around the world, probably one of the tree frogs, in banana bunches. I know that scorpions, I don't think they're called banana scorpions though. But I'll have to look up a banana spider and see what it is, because I've never heard of it. And I don't know if it might have something to do with the shape of the abdomen of the spider. Not quite banana shaped. So I can't answer your question, I'm afraid. Seashells. Over the cut line. See what we can discover towards the east. Beautiful road like this, something must have walked this road at some point. What's this, hyena track perhaps? Yes. Recently we've had lion, leopard, hyena and cheetah. Time for wild dog. Thank you, Louise. Louise is informing me that the hippos at Truma Waterhole Cam Louise saying there's a big fight there. But Louise, sorry, just listening to the radio. Sorry. Louise, those are two youngsters, they're just playing. Hippo tracks and lots of grass in the road. Two hippos crossing and heading north, and this would have been hippos coming from the dam. Must be another big dam further up north from us. Approaching the area where all the lion activity has been over the last few days. Let's see if we can see anything. There has been a car here already this morning, so good chance that nothing will be around, because otherwise it would have been called in. Morning, Linda. Linda wants to know if the praying mantis and the golden orb get along, or are they predator and prey? And why are we not seeing more praying mantises and egg cases? Do they like the drier conditions like the Timbavati? A lot of praying mantises here, Linda. We get a lot of them flying in at night. We're not seeing any egg cases now because they're not laying eggs yet. They'll only be laying eggs towards the end of the summer. And a lot of them are still growing. A lot of them are still hatchlings and only in their first, second or third molt. But a lot of them are so well camouflaged that we would actually have to stop and shake a bush or something to find a mantis. And they're all the grass mantises that are as thin as blades of grass. So it's not very easy to see them that well driving around. And there's to be out on foot. As for their relationship with the golden orb, well, mantises can get caught in the golden orb's silk, and conversely a golden orb could be caught by a mantis if it moves up towards the branch when it's disturbed off of its web. So both could be prey and both could be predator. We'll keep an eye out for some mantises. They are one of my favorite insects. I do have a soft spot for them. Okay, well, what is this? Lion tracks, very fresh. They were lying in the road. They're somewhere here. They aren't very far away by the looks of things, because there are bits of sand in the road that occurred after the rainfall, and there was rain this morning. It's somewhere in these long grasses. Somewhere over the grasses, in the grasses. Tracks coming, this is the male tracks. They were further up last night. They tracks come down a little bit. And I have to open up. Let me just go back a bit. Something came out of it. No. It was lying here not long ago. This is where they were last night. But grasses are flattened. Lioness was lying here. Another lion was here. It looks like the pride might have been here. Let's just have a look over this little ridge to see if they might not be walking in the road. See, there's a car here. The car might not have been a game drive vehicle, and that might have forced them off the road. Yeah, there's some tracks going east. Scratches in the road. They're lying down again. There! 2 big males. Looks like mating might be over if the other male's around. Fantastic. I see a female. Now what will be interesting will be to see who's here, because both males are here now. Morning, cats. Oh, he's growling at us again. Funny. Not a morning cat. Ngala this little cut line a little bit further east from yesterday. So far 2 Madodo, 1 Mafaz. I'm just gonna but I'm sure this is the same male that's been mating. good chance the rest of the pride hasn't been that far away. I would have imagined that by now they might have made another kill somewhere. Unless there has been a kill close by and they have managed to give it a break, go and feed. She looks a bit cold. Yeah, pull in touch. Grumbling under his voice there. He just sees a vehicle and he growls a bit. Judging by some of the fresh tracks and some of the fresh sand that I saw disturbed on the way here, they've been lying down and then getting up, lying down, getting up. And I wonder if maybe that other male wants to do some mating as well. As inactive as they are right now, I'd like to sit and wait and see what can transpire here. And now that we've got the two males together, I'm trying to think which is the one that's been mating all along. Is it the one that's next to her, or is it the other one down below? I wonder if anyone can help me with that. It's not that unusual for a coalition of males, especially with the two brothers like this, where one male will give up and the other male will take over. He's always been grumpy. Thanks, Laurie. Laurie's saying it's the same one because of that scar on his nose near his left eye. I don't think they both have the same scars. I might have been doing this for a long time, but I sometimes still, not sometimes, I often still marvel at the fact that we can sit here with a pride of lion, males and female, animals that are capable of bringing down prey as large as buffalo, giraffe, top of their game, predators. She's trying to push him off. Oh, snapping at him. He wants to cover her. She doesn't look like she's interested. Oh, a nice stretch. No. She's... Ah, there, bottom right canine missing. Don't know if anybody managed to screen cap that yawn. Been waiting for him to yawn. Maybe that's why he's getting grumpy, because she's losing interest. Going into the 4th day now. He's having a bad hair day too today. And his face got a grumpy look on his face. And that's why I was seeing so many places where they'd lay down, because as soon as she moves, as soon as she wants to stretch or change position, he thinks that it's an invitation to cover her. And she's giving clear signs there that she wasn't interested. First kicked him away, and then she... she's not interested, why doesn't she go back to the rest of the family? I'm sure the rest of the family are not too far away. But it's possible because the Easter cycle isn't over, and it's possible that it's just this moment that she's not interested and that they still are going to mate. It's just maybe now, this moment, that she's not. The only way we can answer that question is to wait it out and see what's going to happen. Active again. I think they're actually on the junction of a road that goes into Buffelshoek. Be interesting to see if we can look up that road. Maybe the rest of the pride might be around. And it's not through laziness. It's an important aspect of their lives to conserve energy. There's so much energy is expelled in the hunt, and so especially the amount of meat each animal is getting in getting the food. And it's important then to conserve all that energy for the next hunt. Roll over this side. quite a scarred face. A lot of these scars that they have on the faces are actually from their own family members. As strong as the social bonds may be, and as what's the word I'm looking for? As close as they may be, as tender as they may be with that, all of that gets swept under the carpet. And they get very aggressive with each other. They fight over pieces and they fight over scraps. Or they fight over purchase on the carcass, where I've seen carcass, neither one wants to give way. Neither one can feed, because as soon as they release their jaw muscles, thank you. We're going to leave them be for a few minutes. We'll go and see. There's a herd of elephants behind us somewhere. They're not going to go very far in the next few minutes, I don't think. And if these elephants are maybe moving north, we might miss them. Leaving a lock at these 3 in Gala, Andrew and Lock. We were there not too long ago, where these elephants are. I just want to see something in the road. We didn't see this earlier, did we? No. Patch in the road here that... No. I'm sure I would have seen it. Unless I was looking on the side, yeah. I was looking on the side of the road. The patch of the road there, that lion has actually been digging. More cats been lying there. I'm sure this pride is here somewhere. Hi John. Do I think the lion have had a kill recently? Well, we do know that 3.5 days ago they had a buffalo kill, a young buffalo, just off to our left. And it was at that kill, it was at that carcass when they were feeding on it, that the mating started. And the next morning we only found the male and the female mating. The rest of the pride were across the boundary here. That evening the rest of the pride joined the mating couple out here on the road. And whether they've made another kill since in the last 3 days, I don't know, and we haven't been able to find them. Well, we don't go on to Buffelshoek, but the vehicles that do haven't been able to see anything. So, possible, we're not too sure yet. If we didn't have this kind of weather and we had some sunshine, the vultures would be flying already. And that would be a sure indication of them being a kill, because the vultures would come in. A group of lion would need something large. If they found something small, there would be nothing left, of course, to be able to attract vultures. It would only be if there were a larger carcass. Not going to be too many raptors or vultures flying around today. You can see where elephant have been digging. Which way did they go? They might have come from the north. There's their dung. Been digging, throwing sand, leaves in the road. Fresh dung in the road. Haha, I see a tail flicking up the fire break. Funny, we were here only a few minutes ago. They must have just come across from the north. Anyone with them, Law? Like they're heading up, maybe going up Aubrey's Road. More fresh dung. It's amazing, this dung is probably, and urine. Urine hasn't even soaked into the road yet, it's so fresh. And yet they are, you can't see the dung for the flies, the green flies. There was a tail swinging here, like a minute ago. Long line of elephant going down Aubrey's Road. That's why I came up Aubrey's Road this morning looking for elephant. Our timing was wrong. M2 we saw the other day. Not seeing a hole or a V in this ear though. Oh, it is. There's the V in his ear, the one at the back. Pushing each other around. You know, some things don't change, doesn't matter what species you are. He's got that V in his left ear. It's the same herd we saw, the last group of elephants we saw. Hi Elizabeth. Morning Ellies. I just stopped here briefly because the most of the herd has stopped up ahead. I can hear tusks clashing. Elizabeth was saying she was watching a documentary on elephants in the northern part, in the desert, Toko land I suppose. Namibian desert. Hey little boy, you remember us? We saw you the other day. Elizabeth wanted to know what the difference is between the elephants up in the desert east. These Kruger elephants are quite different to the desert elephant. The desert elephant is actually, I don't know if they're going to classify it as a different species, but it is a different subspecies. A much larger elephant to accommodate or to live in those very dry conditions. Elephants that have evolved in that desert millennia. Look at that. Suddenly there isn't an elephant to be seen. They're all further down the road. The two boys. Get off. St. Glover now mobile down Albury's Road towards Weir's Actress. Getting left behind, little one. Now we'll wait for the two bulls to come out onto the road. Now these bulls are not adults with the group. They're not leaders in any way. If anything, they are in their late teens. One in front, the big V out of his left ear. Welcome to Wild Earth, and welcome to Juma Game Reserve. And our wild elephants wandering down the road. I'm Wild Marc, and we've got Wild Sebastian at the back on camera. Having a wild morning. Lions and elephants. Nothing like pretending to be an elephant following the herd. Okay, I'll keep my distance. Oh! Okay. That was just a message to say stop following us. But I'm right behind you, boy. He tried to push a tree, it was a little bit too big for him. Maybe he'll push maybe he'll push a smaller tree, try and show me his strength. Trying to show Mom that he can look after the herd. so busy playing with us that he's lagged behind. Trunk in the air, trying to smell where everybody's gone. I see two little ones up front. Quite typical in the herd that the young boys stay behind. Slowly but surely they get more at the back. She is lactating, so she's probably one of the mothers or mother of one of the youngsters. Quite a small lady. Long thin tusks. Can't move again. The bend's in the road. Young bull's being nasty to her. Maybe she moved forward and it's the two bulls that are playing again. Can't imagine a cow doing that. Oh, she is. Why that young bull would be doing that to her? Almost like he was sparring with her. It's not very common that you would see a cow engaging with a bull in that kind of behavior. Maybe because they're brother and sister, about the same age. Little sibling rivalry going on. A young bull and a young cow, and she is lactating. I mean, she's young, but she's still a mother. And now he's coming back towards her again. Almost as though he's trying to hold her back. That must be her calf. That must be her calf just through the trees there. This little boy is being mafufunyan, throwing branches around now. Don't take it out on the child. Yeah, look at that. And she's just calmly feeding. Oh, he's naughty. Trumpeting again. Yeah, there's a cow that he was sparring with is on our left now with her calf. Why he was trying to keep her back, I have no idea. I think, well, his temporal glands are leaking. His penis is somewhat unsheathed, not fully. He's not dribbling. I think what it is that he's coming into must. He's a youngster. He can't quite deal with these testosterone levels that are flowing through his system. And the fact that he is still with the herd means that he isn't being tempered by older bulls. Because if he had left the herd by now, he would be put in his place so quickly by an older bull. I'm actually surprised the matriarch hasn't done something about it yet. Quite possible she will if he carries on with this kind of behavior. And this kind of behavior isn't really tolerated with elephants. Discipline is pretty strong in elephant society. And they're disciplined from a very young age to toe the line, have manners. And it could be that he's just not used to the must effects or the effects of so much testosterone. Yeah, starting to push around that other young bull again. That's the little one with the youngster with the hole in the top of his right ear. Just a small hole with a little notch. Interested in this nonsense. Having said that, just behind them are two youngsters. Two little 6-7-year-olds pushing each other around. Another poke in the rear with a dusk. Teenagers. In particular, that has a close relationship with elephant is the marula fruit, and although there are myths and legends about them getting drunk on fermenting fruit, it's not really true. What it really is it's this kind of behavior that he's not able to mate, he's not an adult bull yet, and still being part of the herd, he must have a lot of frustration, and he's taking it out on some of his herd mates, some of his family. Not getting very aggressive. He's trying to elicit some response from this other young bull. It'd be nice to see the two youngsters behind them playing with that branch. A little bit of it, but move out of the way, silly boy. No, not you. The other one. Yes, you. Oh, he's being nasty to those youngsters now as well. Okay. Activity. Emulating their older brothers. Move up a little bit. There's a big old lady now in front of us. That must be matriarch. That must be the mom. Having a back scratch on that combretum. She made quite a fast move towards those two bulls that are getting us and keep them. She's also got very heavy memories. Lion are interesting. Lion, because of the fact that they're known as the king of the jungle, and they kill big animals, and they're fierce and big teeth and huge paws and big claws. But there's actually nothing like being with a herd of elephants and watching all the interaction. There, a youngster throwing a branch around again, kicking it, throwing it with his trunk. Again, little one. Like he's bored. Gonna charge us now. Well, he's not too sure about it, but maybe he'll do it from behind the bush so we can't see. But there's a group for trouble. So I'm stopping and starting a lot, but the only way to keep up with them and the only way to see some of the activity. They're cutting through the bush. I'm going to take a shortcut to Uitela Access Road and see if we can maybe get up ahead of them and see them come out on the other side. They know exactly where they are. They know where the roads go. This one doesn't know that we're here yet. It should be able to hear us. I don't think it knows how close we are. Hello? It's me, Jose. It doesn't really care that we're here. Something was biting it. We're still a little bit far from Uitela Access Road. Love the smell of elephants in the morning. What we can do is turn around, come back, try and stay ahead of them by reversing. It's going to be a while before they get to Uitela Access. Grey sky is lifted quite high, so I don't think we're going to have more rain in the immediate future. They might be back on the road by then. unless they're cutting through the bush. Towards the dam, in which case we're not going to be able to follow them. It's very, very thick in there. It's also very wet. Although we're on the top of a rise where the soil is very sandy. A little bit chilly. Here they come. I'm going to just stop and wait here. As long as they don't go off the road, but let's see, maybe we'll be lucky.